You are now listening to the Vitalize podcast. Hey yo, what up, family? Welcome back to the Vitalize podcast. You're here with your friendly neighborhood host, Mr. Marcus Black, and I'm so incredibly excited to be here with you today, man, to be in your presence, to be rocking and rolling, coming off an incredible Resurrection Sunday. Shout out to the people that believe as far as that is concerned. Those of you who don't believe, shout out to you too, because I love all of y'all. No matter what you believe, I do. Listen, I am a proponent. Listen to me close. We just now getting started. Your anchor does not have to be mine, but you need an anchor. So if you're not anchored and you're wondering why you feel like you're being tossed to and fro and lost in the sauce, you need to be anchored somewhere. So my anchor just happens to be Jesus Christ. And so shout out to all of those who just finished celebrating this weekend, incredible Easter weekend. But if you believe whatever you believe, as long as you have an anchor, then you all right with me, because otherwise, it is a recipe to be lost in the sauce, and I don't want that for nobody that's rocking with your boy. So that's out the gate. That's for free. That ain't even what we talking about. But I'm just excited to be alive. I'm happy to be alive. There's so many things swimming in my mind and my heart. But you came, listen, welcome, first of all. If this is your first time listening to the Vitalize podcast, welcome, man. Shout out to you for showing up. Shout out to you for being incredible. And shout out to you for rocking with your boy. I got an incredible message from a new subscriber on YouTube. If you see this one, my friend, thank you for your message. Thank you for your warm words. Those mean more than you know. Those are fuel that keep me going. When I hear that the messages and the words are impacting you, that means a lot. So shout out to you. Shout out to all of you. If you're listening for the first time, there's no such thing as a second-time guest in this community. So just know that means you family now. We rocking. And we're rolling. Oh, why did I hear that song in my head? These days are I just in my these happy days. Anyway, those of you listening to me are like, what is happening? That is a common thread. Like, you might get a song, you might get rap lyrics, you might get a quote, you might get somber, you might get big energy. There's no telling what you live. This podcast is like a box of chocolates. Because you never know what you're gonna get. But that said, there's no such thing as a second-time guest, so you're family now. And so welcome, man. Listen, I want you to feel at home. I want you to know that here, this is a space where we take the mask off. Ain't none of that fake stuff. I'm not about to sit here and tell you, if you just give me $1 million, if you give me $9,999, I will change your life and make you a millionaire. I'm not sending no guarantees like that. I'm not selling no pipe dreams. We ain't doing none of that. All we are doing is coming together, taking the mask off, having real, raw, open conversations to help you heal your heart, to help you find your belief, and to help you get up and go take the actual steps to transform your life. If that sounds good to you, if inspiration, motivation, and affirmation sounds good to you, you came to the right place today, family. This is exactly where you want to be. That said, I do want to take a moment and shout out to myself today. This message is sponsored by me, the Vitalize company, and I'm actually doing something I've never done. I've been working with speakers one-on-one for a while, but this time I'm doing a class. It's a master class. It's an intensive, and it's called Master Your Message. It's just a 4-week commitment, but we don't play. When we lock in, we lock all the way in. We eliminate the distractions. So if you are a person who is a communicator, if you want to learn the art of storytelling, if you want to learn how to put your message together, develop your signature keynote, and how to market that to get booked and paid to speak, then this is exactly what I'm doing, and you are exactly who I'm looking for. But I just announced this not even a week ago, and I'm only taking 10 people because I don't believe in running this up, and it's not about making a bunch of money. It's actually discounted, way discounted from what I charge to work with people. But I'm only taking 10 people because I want to keep it intimate, and I want to keep it to where we can learn, grow, and you will even practice in front of each other. And we won't have time if you have too many. Everybody's going to talk in front of each other. So if you're afraid, don't worry about that. This is a safe place. Believe it or not, once upon a time, I was deathly afraid to be on a camera, to be on a stage, to communicate. It ain't always been like this. And I want to teach you how to grow, progress, advance your career, and move the ball forward. So if that's you, if you're the last couple of people I'm looking for this class, holla at your boy. Go to my Instagram at mblackspeaks, send me a DM, and just say, master your message. Tell me, hey, you sent me, I came from the podcast, I want to know more, and I got you. Now, today's message is a little bit, I wouldn't say heavy is the word. It's real. And if we're honest, we all have moments where we go through things. Like, just let me know, like right now, if you got something going on in your life, if your heart's been heavy, maybe you're dealing with the loss of a loved one. Maybe you're dealing with switching careers. Maybe you're dealing with sickness in your own body. Maybe you're dealing with sickness or illness in somebody you love. Maybe you're the caregiver for somebody you love. Maybe somebody you know and love is struggling and there's nothing you can do to help them. Maybe you find yourself where life is lifing and it's slapping you to and fro and you feel like you don't know what to do next. And I've been there. And I've been there not too long ago. And I love this. Like when I say mask off, I keep it real with y'all so you realize that vulnerability is actually your superpower. I'm not going to sit here and tell you 20-year-old stories, and I will tell you some of those, but I'm not going to tell you all these stories from forever ago as if I haven't been through no life and as if I got it all together and things have not been happening to me as well. But I want to show you the mindset that is required to shift and overcome, to level up your life. So this message actually hit me like a ton of bricks, a conversation I was having with my wife the other night. And it is now, we are approaching at this point, it's mid-April. That's crazy. It's mid-April. That's crazy. Where did the time go? Feels like I was just like, we back, welcome back. I was like, I felt like we were just doing that whole thing. But now here we are. And we're approaching mid-April. And as we're approaching mid-April, it means we're approaching May. In May, this May the 7th to be exact, marks the 1-year anniversary of me losing my grandmother. That was something that, you guys know, anytime you lose somebody you love, it just puts a hole the size of that human being in your heart. Like the level of belief my grandmother had in me, the level of pride she took. When my book came out and telling people about her best-selling author grandson and about me speaking, like all of that stuff, like there's nothing greater than making those people who you love proud and showing up and building something, right? But it literally rocked our family. It literally, put a hole in all of our hearts. And to this day, like you guys know, I don't have to tell you, you lost somebody before. You lost somebody. That hole in your heart. They say, oh, give it time. It all gets better with time. And I wish I could tell you that was the truth. But somebody right now, you looking at me. If you're watching this on YouTube, you look me in my eyes. Time does not heal all wounds. I know they say it and it sounds pretty. It's cool. That's not true. When you lose somebody you love, that wound is in your heart forever, and it doesn't go away. Time teaches you how to cope and deal, but it will never heal. And that's okay. I think you got to give yourself grace to know that if you still struggle with grief and people are telling you, why are you not over that already? Tell them to kick rocks because you don't get over losing somebody you love, a human being. We weren't made like that. Death is the most difficult thing we'll ever face in this life. So if you've been dealing with grief, then it's okay. And I want you to know this is a safe place. You ain't got to be strong here. My strong friends, I know that's who you are. Y'all my strong friends. You ain't got to do that here. Here, you can sit down, rest. I got you. I look at these shoulders. I got some big shoulders. You can lean on these for the time being. But as we approach the 1-year anniversary of her passing, the first thing I'll do is think through like all the things I learned from her and like all of the sayings, all of the smiles, all the love, all the kisses, all of the support. My goodness, it's overwhelming. And so number one, celebrate your people, right? Celebrate your people. But then think about the things they taught you because you never really lose them. You can't ever really lose a person because every experience you had together is locked here in your mind and your heart. It never goes away. You got them. But it's up to you to be intentional to keep them alive by leaning into those memories. And this reminds me of something that really was one of the most pivotal moments for me in revelations I've had. You guys know me, right? You guys know me. Those who don't know me as well, keep watching and listening to the podcast. You'll learn more stories about my life. You'll learn more things about how I think, who I am, what my passions, my hobbies are. You'll learn how much even though I got shout out to the hometown. If you didn't know, I'm from Memphis. What up? Raised in Mississippi. Those my homes. Hardly home, but always repping. But you also know I'm a huge Raiders fan, so don't get this twisted. Like, I'm the biggest fan of the Raiders, which I just might be. Hey, listen, Las Vegas Raiders, I'm about to be in your neck of the woods in literally a couple days, so I'm coming to see you. But you'll learn some things about me along the way. But one of the things I bet not a singular one of you question is my desire to want to use my voice, my talent, my gifts and abilities to help others. You can see that anywhere you see me, whether you go to my Twitter, you go to my Facebook, my Instagram, my TikTok, my website, the podcast, YouTube, anywhere you see a common theme, and that is that I want to show up and I want to help and I want to impact, I want to be positive and I want to make a difference. That's what you see. You know me for that. But then some people might be wondering, like, but is that real though? Is he really like that? Or is this just like a part of what he does? Is this like he's just mastered the art of like making people feel, and so he's just really good at that, but when you meet him, that's not really his passion? Well, I'm going to tell you what those two things and all these thoughts have to do with each other right now, because I'm just giving it to you. But I was sitting with my mother on her birthday, which happened to be May 15th. May 15th was the day after my grandmother's funeral, so we just eulogized her, buried her, and the family was all together, holding each other down and holding each other up. And I sat with my mother in my grandmother's room, on my grandmother's bed, and my wife was with me. And my mom said, I don't think I've ever shared this story with you, but now it feels like an appropriate time to share. See, when she's telling my wife, so I'm my mom now. I'm going to tell you this story. You see, when Marcus was a very small boy, not much older than 4, I mean, talking age, but not big, he began to become obsessed. He was 5, become obsessed with like family trees, like just all these things, right? So because of some little project I was doing at my school, it made me come home and I was thinking about my family tree. And what I recognized was that we always went to my grandma's house. This is my dad's mother who I'm talking about. We always went to her house, my incredible grandmother, Miss Ernestine Black. But we never went to my mom's house. Well, as a small child, I didn't realize that my mom's mother would actually go on to pass away. And Miss Victoria, that's my grandmother. And, you know, I never got a chance to meet her, but apparently people tell me, they see her in me, they see her smile, they see her tender heart, her compassion in me as well, which is all blessing for me to hear, but I never got to meet her because she passed away, unfortunately, when my mom and her siblings were small children. So they had to grow up with the void. It's probably why my mom is one of literally world's greatest mom. Literally, no exaggeration. It's because of the lack, the absence of what she had. She always went above and beyond, so we never felt that void. And so because I was too young to understand, I just knew she didn't have a mom. So she said one day, I asked her, I said, Mom, like, why does Daddy have family, but you don't have a family? Like, Daddy got a lot of family, but you don't have a family. Like, I met my grandmother on my dad's side, I met my great-grandmother on my dad's side. It's like, but you, why don't you have a mom? And she couldn't explain it to me. But she said, well, I do have a mom, but, you know, she's with God. So I don't know what that means. But she's like, yeah, but we can't see her now. So that's fine. We've established you have a family, but I can't meet them. So time goes on and I'm perplexed and my little brain is trying to figure out how to help my mom. So what I start to do is one day, now I don't know this, but my mom's telling my wife, one day Marcus is just adamant. He comes to me, he's pulling on me, mama, 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 mama. She's like, what? You know, it's like the Family Guy little meme that went viral a couple years ago. Mom, mommy, mom, mommy, mom. You know, it's like that thing. And she said, yes, baby. What is it? What can I do for you? And she said, I told her, I need you to take me to grandma's house. Well, grandma's house wasn't around the corner, just so y'all know. Grandma's house, my dad's mom's house, was about 30 minutes away. But I was adamant. She said I was adamant. Gotta take me to grandma's house. And she was like, baby, like, no, we'll go another time. We'll go see grandma. And she said I put my foot down and I would not let it go. I have to go to grandma's house today. She was like, what is wrong with this boy? What has gotten into this little boy? Like, he is adamant to go to grandma's house. And she did not know why I was so adamant to go to grandma's house. She decided, so I wouldn't have a conniption. I don't even know what a conniption is, but it sounds epic, right? So I wouldn't have one of those. She took me, loaded me up in the car. We drove the 30 minutes away to my grandma's house. We got out the car and I drug her in the house and we went straight to my grandma's room. My grandma, hey, baby, how you doing? Give me kisses and all the things. I'm good, grandma. And then I had a question. I said, hey, grandma. I said, my mother, doesn't have a mommy. So I was wondering, can you be her mommy? At this point, my wife is crying. Like, what? Little 4-year-old, 5-year-old Marcus is so concerned for his mother who doesn't have a mother that I needed her to drive me to another city, 1, 2, 3 towns away. Go through 3 towns to get to my grandmother's house to ask her, would you be my mom's mommy? Because she doesn't have one. And my grandmother said, well, oh my goodness, yes, I will. And my mom said from that day on, she never called my mom daughter-in-law. She always called her her daughter because of what I asked. Now, my wife is in tears, but the reason this is so significant, and here's the reason I tell you the story. I told you a lot of you know me and you know my heart and you know I want to help and you know I care about people. What you may or may not have known, though, is that as long as I can literally remember and even beyond my literal memory, this has always been the case. As a small child, I saw a hurt in my mother's heart. I saw a hole from someone that she lost. And I decided that I was going to figure out a way, any way I can, to help heal the void that's in her heart. And when I heard this, I was overwhelmed with emotion because what I was thinking is, I'm not new to this. I didn't just wake up and decide one day that because it's the cool and popular thing to do to build a platform that focuses on giving life, giving love, and speaking into people. That ain't how this worked. That ain't how it went down. You see, as long as I can remember, and even before I can remember, I have always had a desire for people. Let me make it real. Let me bring it closer to home. I always had a desire for you. My desire for you is that you have life, that you have an abundant life, that you realize there's so much more in the tank. Like everything, the book I wrote, this podcast, this show, every stage I get on, every person I help, every course, people like, man, you really give stuff away. You be overload. Like I got business people calling me, you giving away too much. You charging too little. You giving, nah, man, forget that. Get out of my face. Because I'm not out here trying to figure out how to maximize my pockets. If that comes, that will be a byproduct of me maximizing my life and my purpose by me pouring into you. What does it mean to you? What is the thing? Who are you? Do you even know? Because if you don't have clarity in who you are, you just be out here doing stuff. And I'm tired of seeing people just doing stuff. It's a whole lot of people in the world doing this and doing that and this and going every which way and feeling empty. Feeling lost, feeling confused, and we wasting time, precious time we cannot get back. Because just like I'm celebrating the memorial of my grandmother, both my grandmothers, Miss Victoria and Miss Ernestine, I'm celebrating them. But one day, somebody Somebody's going to be celebrating you. And when they celebrate you, what will you have given them to celebrate? What will you have done with the time, with the dash between your two numbers? What is it that you want to do with your life? Have you thought about it? What I'm trying to give you, and all of this is so pivotal for me. It's coming at the right time because I just told y'all, I'm coming off a season, the end of last year, before I started this season of the podcast, of some haze, some fog. I've always been a clarity person, but I struggled with a depression for the first time that knocked me on my behind, and I ain't ashamed to say it. We got to erase the stigma that it's not okay for you to struggle. It is okay for you not to be okay. It's okay. You can struggle. Whoever told you is lying to you that they don't, because they struggle. Ain't a person on the planet who don't struggle, fam. I don't care how many dollars you got in your pocket. That don't take away the pain you feel in your soul when you lose somebody. When people stab you in the back, when people talk about you, spit on you, scandalize your name, when these things happen, it don't matter how successful you are. It don't matter how many awards you got. It don't matter how much money you made. None of that can take away pain. Pain is universal. Everybody gonna go through it. That said, what is it gonna take for you to regain that clarity? For me, it took me going through my process, right? I got a process. And this process is pivotal. It's what made me become who I am. And so the first step in my process is to accept reality. What is it in your life that you can't accept? There's things in your life outside of your control. And the more you try to control the uncontrollable, that is a recipe for disaster. That is a recipe for you feeling helpless, you feeling hopeless, you wanting to throw in the towel because you're trying to control people you can't control, situations you can't control, circumstances you can't control. And at some point, you just got to accept that it is what it is. I got completely overwhelmed last fall because I feel like I pour my heart and my soul out every single day trying to make a difference and impact people for good. But all I seem to see is negative, hurt, pain, evil, hatred. And it became so overwhelming to me that I found myself feeling like, what's the point? Why even try? The problem is too big. Am I even making a dent? And the more time I spent focused on that which I could not control, the more my soul grew disoriented and my vision got clouded. Because in reality, I was never meant to solve all the problems in the world. Nah, I can't do that. I ain't Superman. I might feel like it sometimes, but I'm not him. I'm me. I'm Mr. Because You Can. But Mr. Because You Can in the moment felt like he couldn't, until I remember my own process and I accepted reality. That means I submitted to that which I could not change, and I focused on that which I could. I can't change all that. I can't. But I gotta stop trying. You can't change him. You can't. Stop, ladies. You can't change him. Fellas, you can't change her. Stop trying. Every human being has to grow and mature at their own rate. You can help them, support them, love them. You can't change them. But after you realize and you accept that, now you've given yourself a pathway to healing, hope, and restoration, and you've given yourself exactly what you need for your journey. So then the next thing you got to do after you accept reality is face your giants. Face your giants. Whatever that is, like maybe it's insecurity. Maybe you look at yourself in the mirror every day and you pick yourself apart. You don't even let people do it because you beat them to the punch. I'm horrible. I'm so ugly. This wrinkle under my eye, this crease on my nose, this look I make, all of the eye color, hair color, all the things, the way I look, my size, man, stop doing that. Come face to face with the very things that are haunting you. You face your fears, you look them in the eyes, and you overcome them. You speak affirmation over your life. You speak positivity over your life. I know it's hard. The hardest thing to do is to speak positivity when all you feel is darkness and negativity. But just force yourself to do it. It's like the Control-Alt-Delete buttons on a computer. Force override. Because while you may not believe the affirmations when you're facing your giant, you are planting seeds into your subconscious that will eventually take root and change the way you move and the way you think. Give yourself a gift and start to affirm yourself because you can. Number 3 is you got to silence the lies and replace them with new truths. You've been told you're a failure. You've been told you're a dummy. You've been told you're a dunce. You've been told you're ugly. You've been told you're ignorant. You've been told you're lazy. You've been called name after name after name and labeled by people, and whoever told you those things about you lied to you, and you can tell them I said it. They lied. And what you got to do is replace those lies with the truth. No, I work hard. Just in the things I'm passionate about. Forgive me if I'm not going to kill myself for something that's sucking the life out of me. That don't make you lazy. That makes you smart. Because that's the only way to lead to a fulfilling life. Focus your energy and effort on things that give you life. Yeah, you got to do some stuff you don't love, but don't spend all your time there. And people will belittle you and call you lazy because you won't move to the beat of their drum. Forget them. You take the sticks and you go play that drum because I'm not in that band. I don't even like that type of music. How about that? And you have to be unapologetic about it. It's okay to advocate for yourself. It's okay for you to have your own back because nobody gonna do that for you. They're not. So it's on you. And you tell yourself a new truth about yourself. You tell yourself you are beautiful, fearfully, wonderfully made. You tell yourself you are intelligent and capable of learning new things. You tell yourself that you can accomplish anything you put your mind to and build the new seeds that will eventually take root and flourish as a beautiful garden that manifests in success in every area of your life. And number 4, once you've done these things, you can live and love life. You can live and love life to the absolute fullest. I became so overwhelmed hearing this story about my grandma, hearing this story that I was, from as long as I can remember, caring about people. I created all of this because at the end of the day, it's not about this. It's because I care about people. I care about you. All the yell people like, I love your energy. I'm glad you love my energy, but I don't do this for me. And I don't do this for nothing. I do this because I need to shake your shoulders and I need you to know that you matter. That's why I do it. You matter to me. And I just need you to know, if you're willing to do the things I'm saying and you remember your why, like we talked about last week, remember why you started and remember the pieces of you that are unique to you and remember the things that give you life and remember the steps you need to take and remind yourself of your greatness. And if you forget about your greatness, I'm here to remind you of your greatness and to remind you that you were created to do incredible things in the world and that you can build the life you love to live and you're capable of going and doing anything you put your mind to. So stop doubting yourself. Stop doubting your greatness. Stop doubting what you were put on the planet to do. You get yourself up and you go take steps every single day and you go make it real. Because you can.